taking a look at the PD-D2500 compact disc changer by Teac. They also used to call these Carousel players. Right here it even calls it instead a compact disc multiplayer. It's nice that on the front of this player, it's from 1998. We have all of the same buttons that we do on the remote. So if you did lose the remote, you'd still be able to use all of the functions just using these physical buttons right on the front. This is our power button. This is the open and close button. And this is the disc skip button, which means that once we open the carousel, we can actually advance forward to place CDs if there already are CDs in there, to place them wherever we'd like by hitting that button. These three buttons are actually in addition to the remote, I imagine, because you really wouldn't use those buttons unless you were standing right here. Another really neat thing here that you saw on CD players of this era and before, and that really started disappearing right around this era, is the headphone input with its own volume control. So if you'd like to listen to a CD just on headphones, you can do that. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Here we got our nice LED display. It'll show us information. Go ahead and click the carousel open. And we don't have any CDs in here right now, but let's just say we did. Once again, we'd use this disc skip button to move the carousel along. Here we go. We'll put a CD in right now. Here's slot number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once again, if we did have discs in here, we just go ahead and advance. Here's slot number 1 again. Here's slot number 2. We'll go ahead and put a CD in. This is piano music. We're going to close it. As you see, it actually says disc 4 right here, and we put it in slot number 1. We could push play. The CD player would move the carousel and try to play these CDs and would find blank spots. And once it got to CD number 1, it would then play. That takes a little bit of time. So what's nice, once again, is we have these buttons on the front. Disc number, and right here we can just hit disc number 1 because that's where we put our CD, is in slot number 1, and play, and it'll go directly to that slot and play that CD. So there you see it playing. We have some buttons over here: time, intro, repeat, and program. On the time button, right now, when you put a CD in, it defaults to just showing you how much time has elapsed on a particular track, and we're playing track number 1. You see it says 26, 27, 28. If I push that time button again, it'll show you how much time is remaining on that track. If we push the button again, the third time, it'll show you how much time is on the CD in its entirety. And then you push time a fourth time, and it'll show you how much time is remaining on the CD. Now, if you look over here, you'll see these little numbers in tiny rectangles. This is what they call the calendar. What has happened is the CD player has analyzed everything according to the CD, how long, the tracks are, how much time is on the CD, and how many tracks are on the CD. And right here it'll populate the calendar to show you that there are 12 tracks. The first rectangle is blinking because it's playing that track. If I went ahead over here, you'll see we have search, music skip. If I went ahead and hit music skip forward, you'd see that blinking first track disappears because it's moved to the second track. And now number 2 is blinking. Up here we have fast forward and rewind. They call it search. So if you hit forward, it's going to skip ahead. It allows you to listen to the CD while you do that. After a little while, it starts going really fast. You can also rewind, as you see. We also have something called intro. If we hit intro, it's actually going to play the first 10 seconds of each track. That allows you to kind of survey a CD, I suppose. And as you see, it changes. Alright, so we'll get rid of intro by hitting it again. And now over here we have repeat. And there are two ways we can use that. If we hit it once, it's going to repeat everything on the CD, all the tracks that are on the CD. You hit repeat again, and it's just going to repeat the track that we're on over and over and over. You hit repeat again, and now repeat is off. So right now we're listening to the CD in a standard way, starting at the first track and going all the way to the last track. You can use the final button over here called Program. You can use that to decide to listen to the CD in a customized fashion. Let's say, here's the CD. Let's say we want to, instead of listening to it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on, we want to hear track number 9, and then we want to hear track number 1, which we're listening to right now. So Alley Cat and then Cats, number 9, number 1, and then the final track will be number 5, Claire de Lune. So 9, 1, 5. What we're going to do in that case is we're going to find, before we hit program, we're going to find the track that we'd like to be the first track. So we'll advance, we'll do our music skip. And then, as we said, we're going to start with track number 9. We hit program. And this shows you that the first program track is number 9. There it is, first program track of the program. So now we'll go and find the next track we want to play, which is track number 1. And we can just, use this to find that. There we are at track number 1. We'll hit program again. And as you see, this is selection number 2, and it's track number 1. Our final track is going to be number 5. We could use music skip, but there are buttons down here that you can use to go directly to that track. So we just go to track number 5. See how that made that track selection go right to number 5, and then we hit program again, and that's our third track in the program. So we'll hit play, and as you see, it's starting the first track of the program, track number 9. It's also showing you over here the tracks that are going to be in the program, if you remember that calendar section. So these are the program tracks. When this track ends, that blinking light will disappear, and since our second track in the program we have is track number 1, or our second selection, I should say, that will be blinking and playing. So let's go ahead and hit music skip, and as you see, that's exactly what happened. Hit it again, and there we go, playing the final track of the program. So we hit stop. We still have our program, so we can hit play, and it starts again. Another thing we could do is hit repeat, and it's going to repeat everything that we've programmed in the same order. And there it is. And when we get rid of that final selection in our program, it'll go back and start playing track number 9 again, our first selection. Now, one thing we could also do here, there's a button here called Shuffle. We've got it on repeat. So if we hit Shuffle, it's going to shuffle only from the programmed tracks that we have in the program, the selected tracks in the program. So right now it's on track number 1. Hit it again. It's gone to track number 5. It's just doing it in a random order. And because it's on repeat, it can just do that forever. So that's a little bit about the Teac PD-D2500. compact disc multiplayer.